Did you know that what you do for fun or for a living could be the very reason an insurance company decides they don't want anything to do with you? We're not talking about robbing banks or free solo climbing Everest, but surprisingly ordinary things, like delivering pizza on weekends or teaching yoga on Tuesdays. Here's the uncomfortable truth that most people never discover until it's too late. Insurance underwriters are quietly sizing you up the moment you fill out that application. They're not just asking about your health, they're asking about your life, your work, your hobbies, and whether any of it gives them a reason to either charge you more or show you the door. The catalyst behind all of this is what actuaries call risk segmentation, which is essentially a fancy way of saying they've studied millions of people and know, statistically, which lifestyles lead to more claims. Think of it like a restaurant that quietly charges more for customers who always send food back your profile, tells them a story before you ever say a word. Once upon a time, you could fill out an insurance application in 10 minutes with zero drama. Now, underwriters have access to data aggregators, prescription databases, and motor vehicle records, meaning they often know more about your risk profile than you do. Professions that involve physical danger, think logging, commercial fishing, roofing, and mining, have always raised red flags. But you might be surprised to learn that pilots, even hobbyist pilots, face intense scrutiny. The irony is that statistically, private pilots are more dangerous to insure than most extreme athletes. Yet we celebrate aviation as glamorous and barely think twice about the coverage implications. On the hobby side, the list of flagged activities reads like a bucket list for an adventurous 30-year-old. Scuba diving, skydiving, motorcycle racing, rock climbing, and even some martial arts. What stings is that these are the exact activities being sold to you in every energy drink commercial and Instagram reel, yet the insurance industry quietly treats them like financial landmines. Underwriters also scrutinize occupations that involve irregular income or unconventional schedules, like gig workers, freelancers, and rideshare drivers, because inconsistency in income can signal instability in their models. The bittersweet irony here is that the hustle culture we've been glorifying for a decade is the exact profile that gives underwriters heartburn. Here's a misconception worth crushing right now. Many people assume that if they don't volunteer the information, they're fine, but non-disclosure is one of the most common reasons claims get denied entirely. Insurance contracts are built on something called utmost good faith, which is a legal standard, meaning both parties must be fully transparent. And if you're not, the entire policy can unravel the moment you actually need it. Historically, underwriting has evolved through cycles of tightening and loosening after major catastrophes or financial shocks. Insurers clamp down hard, and in calmer periods, they compete aggressively for your business. We're currently in a tightening cycle, driven by rising claims, costs, inflation on medical and construction expenses, and post-pandemic behavioral data that's still being digested. The practical takeaway here is beautifully simple. Disclose everything, and then shop strategically. Different carriers have vastly different appetites for risk, meaning one company's uninsurable is another company's preferred client. The key is working with a broker who knows which doors to knock on. Don't let fear of higher premiums push you into hiding the truth, because a slightly higher premium today is infinitely better than a denied claim when your family needs it most. Discipline in this process means being honest, asking detailed questions before you sign, and never assuming your policy covers what you haven't specifically confirmed. There's a philosophical layer here that doesn't get talked about enough. Insurance is not a punishment for living an interesting life. It's a financial tool. And like any tool, it works best when you use it correctly. The people who get burned are rarely the reckless ones. They're the uninformed ones who assumed everything would be fine. So whether you're a nurse who moonlights as a kickboxing instructor or a freelance photographer who dives shipwrecks on vacation, your profile is more unique than any checkbox on a standard application. The right coverage exists for you, it just requires the right conversation with the right people. And if you're ready to start that conversation, whether it's about protecting your home, your income, or your next investment, check out our links in the description below, where we can connect you with real estate investing guidance, trusted home contracting professionals, and lenders who actually understand your world.